What up, YouTube Live? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Wow, it's January 1st, Tuesday morning, 2019. Holy crap. We finally made it, guys. Still in one piece. 2019, still breathing. Oh my God. Woo. The next thing you know, it'll be 2020. I'm freaking flies, man. So, a lot of resolutions to be done this year. Hope you guys, you and your families are doing okay. I'll be going to the Rose Parade in a minute. So before I go, I just want to give you guys my first live stream TV review of 2019, and it's not a show that I had watched or binge watched the whole 13 episodes. It's actually a show that released the pilot episode online for free. Yeah, any of you guys um, can watch it online at YouTube. Let me get this. Where is that? Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's called Deadly Class. Oh my God, this show is so awesome. At least the pilot episode. Now I'm not familiar with the comic books that it's based on, so I had to look it up. It's not Marvel, it's not DC, it's Image Comics, and I believe. Let me see this. I have it on my screen. Oh, by the way, with all my recap review or TV episodes reviews, this too will contain spoilers. So, spoiler alert, you've been warned. I will be discussing spoilers in this review. Now, this is Image Comics. There you go, Image Comics, and it was published in 2014. So, pretty brand new, 4 years old. Um, and this TV series, Deadly Class, is on Syfy, and it's produced by the two guys who gave us Avengers: Infinity War and this year's Avengers Endgame, and that is the directors Anthony and Joe Russo. So they're producers of this show, and so they're the names that you know that those are the names that you see kind of big on the billboard or poster boards or any commercials regarding to this show. Um, to get the fans geeking out about Deadly Class, because we, the fans, would know, oh, it's the Russo brothers. Yeah, they're good, man. They're good filmmakers. So they're the names that try to sell this Deadly Class series. So again, the show is on YouTube. The pilot episode is on YouTube. I'll provide the link in the description box below this video after I'm done with this. So you can watch it there as well. So that's why I'm gonna discuss spoilers anyway, because it's already out there. The pilot episode is already out there for everybody in the whole world to watch. Okay, so in a nutshell, the series is about a school that teaches kids to become trained assassins. Now, these kids are not just ordinary kids. This is not some kind of Sicario training. Sicario, the assassins down south, like uh, they pick up just about anybody, even stray or like homeless kids, to give them some hope, but in return they have to kill politicians for the cartel. No, this is more classier than that. This is classier than that. And as a matter of fact, these kids, many of them are actually children of mobsters, children of yakuzas, children of uh, Aryan Brotherhood. So children of organizations, crime organizations, many of whom are pretty iconic over the years, loosely termed iconic. So that's what they are, and the school is called the King's Dominion Atelier of the Deadly Arts. That's awesome. Um, and judging from the pilot episode, it looks like we're gonna be in for a familiar ride, so to speak, because you can you can probably describe this series as Hogwarts meets League of Assassins, or X-Men / Runaways, but with killings. And that's cool because it appeals to fans of those other iconic titles. If you're fans of Harry Potter, you'll get to probably see throughout this whole season of the different techniques that the kids will learn from their teachers about how to poison somebody discreetly, or how to plan a sneak attack stealthily, what have you. So I believe that's some of the appeal of Deadly Class. Um, in the pilot episode, um, we see the lead character Marcus. Um, he is homeless. He's orphaned, and we get to see why he's orphaned halfway through the episode. What happened to his parents? And it's interesting because that flashback scene is done in 2D animation style, and I don't know if we're gonna see more of that in order to explain the flashback or the backstories for the other characters as well. Um, but I don't mind. I find it pretty interesting. It's like, okay, it's like straight out of the comic book pages. Straight out of the comic book pages. But at the same time, I'm like, when I see that animation style explaining what happened to his parents, I'm like, okay, you would think that sci-fi, or you would think that rich producers like the Russo brothers, uh, and a network as famous as Syfy can kind of like help the producers of this show to actually go further than just animation. Animation usually, when it comes to like flashbacks or stuff like that, oftentimes it's what independent filmmakers would use because they don't have the budget to shoot another scene for that particular purpose. But hey, maybe that is just for style thing, and that's fine. We're gonna see some Sin City thing, going on with sometimes we go to 2D animation world, and then comes back to the live action again, and maybe that's the intention all along. Now, so Marcus uh, reluctantly gets recruited to the king. Sorry, King's Dominion Atelier, and the Dumbledore, Professor Dumbledore of the King's Atelier, is none other than Master Lin. Master Lin is played by Benedict Wong. Um, he co-stars in Avengers: Infinity War, and of course Doctor Strange series. I mean, I'm sorry, Doctor Strange movie. I think he's gonna reprise his role in Doctor Strange 2 as well. It's gonna be awesome. And I love this guy. He exudes gravitas. He exudes authority. He's the perfect guy to play Master Lin. And he's also Benedict Wong was also in Marco Polo, which was a good series, but it was very short lived on Netflix. Um, excuse me. Uh, one of the comments on that YouTube pilot episode says, "Oh, I guess that's where Wong ends up. Instead of fading away or dying, or after the Avengers: Infinity War, just like half of the universe did, he just went back in time to the '80s." Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention to you that the show is set in the '80s, but the '80s is not. When we think of the '80s as fan base, we think of 16 Candles or any of the John Hughes movies, right? We think of the recent Bumblebee movies, right? Or we think of Stranger Things. That's how the media or the entertainment has turned the '80s into like something that's endearing, something that's so cute that we want to go back to the '80s, just like the Bandersnatch movie that just came out. But no, the '80s that's portrayed in Deadly Class is very gritty. As a matter of fact, it really highlights the impact of uh, the disastrous economic decisions by people like Ronald Reagan or Margaret Thatcher in that era, and in this case, of course, Ronald Reagan. And homelessness, unemployment, dirty shots of the unsafe neighborhood. That's the '80s that Deadly Class presents. And to a certain point, I think that's very smart because the crime rate was even higher at that time. So that presented potential for villains or bad guys, not necessarily colorful, eccentric bad guys with superpowers, but just any bad guys. Even the guy that gets killed in the first pilot episode, he's just a bad dude, a bad homeless dude who takes advantage of other homeless people. So that era, that high crime rate, that people disenfranchised, they're on the economic downturn, that provides a great petri dish for villains and bad guys for such a story as Deadly Class. Because in this pilot episode, apparently it turns out that the kids are also assigned this project where they have to kill somebody that they really wanted to kill. So I'm like, whoa, already, huh? Starting out with a bang. So when it comes to this lead character, Marcus, though, it's interesting. He's played by this actor named Benjamin Wadsworth. I haven't seen him in other stuff before. I think maybe he was in Teen Wolf. I think he was in Teen Wolf, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong. But he does have that leading man persona, and I think he's the right man for this role. Um, he has a crush on Saya, who is the leader of the Kuryoki Syndicate, kind of like the yakuza of the school. But at the same time, he's also involved with this sort of will they not chemistry with this character named Maria. Maria is the member of Sotovatos and the former girlfriend of a bad dude named Chico, who is the leader of Sotovatos. So there's a bit of a love triangle thing going on. I don't know what's happening there. I haven't read the comic books that it's based on, but that provides something juicy as well to get you hooked to see, okay, which one will he pick between the two, or does Saya even give a damn about it? Because Saya is the kind of character that is like, maybe she's just doing it for the job, or maybe she does have feelings under that rough exterior. It's so cool to see Lana Condor play this role because we've seen her as Jubilee in X-Men franchise, or of course on that Netflix rom-com, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. So seeing her in this sort of badass, quiet type, don't talk to me, kind of girl, to see her in that role is very, very interesting, and I think she pulls it off really, really well. um One of the things that yakuzas are famous for, um is that they're covered, like, with tattoos. Of course other gang members would have tattoos as well, but they really, really display them, like, and their tattoos are really unique in their own way. And the show obviously wants to emphasize that. So you could tell, even in this pilot episode, they have Lana Condor wear like a tattoo exterior sleeve, to cover her arms, just like that show Prison Break. You know, what's his name? Michael, right? Michael and Lincoln. Michael would cover. It's not real tattoos, so it's like a put on kind of tattoo, like a blind. What's a series? Blind. I think it's called Blind Spot, right? With Jamie Alexander. That's not real tattoo as well. That's the trick that they have for Lana Condor in this one. Lana Condor is Vietnamese Americans, but she passes on as a Japanese badass. So as an Asian, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Um, in the episode as well, we get to see the different the different facets, the different groups within that school. And it's not like Gryffindor and whatever. These are badass of the kids, right? So you have the kids of the cartel, the kids of the yakuzas, called Kuroki Syndicate, and then the like I said, the Aryan Brotherhood kids, the Nazis. So that's interesting because if your high school experience is already ridden with like the usual bullies and jocks, beating up on nerds and goths, and all those facets, groups, social groups in your high school, imagine them being able to kill you. Imagine them being able to actually go further than just bullying. And that's what you get here because these guys actually, you do not want to get on their bad side, definitely. Um, so that's an interesting hook as well because we want to see whether or not any of them can be allies, these enemies, or um, and what kind of conflicts or shenanigans that can happen between them, tension, because not just because over a girl, but also over maybe power struggle or territory within the school. I want to get a piece of the pie of this in the school. I want to get them, I want to be the kingpin of this, class or what that class, whatever. So that provides an interesting potential as well, in my opinion. In the pilot episode, another thing as well, we get to see who's who um, among those badass kids that turn out to be softies. I was like, okay, now we get to see. Like, turns out that some of them are there just because pressure from their parents. Because okay, I'm a kid of a mobster, so I gotta be mobster as well when I grow up. I can't be a painter. I can't be a musician. I can't be doing something more passive. So you get to see who's who among them is also just kind of like playing the part or just there because their parents want them to be there. So is that going to be seen as a sign of weakness? Does that mean that those people who put up just a front, acting like they're tough, but they're actually not, are they going to be the ones that going to be killed off earlier on because they're quote unquote weak? That's also interesting to see. In this pilot episode, that guy is Willie. Willie is this big dude, big black dude. He reminds me, I can describe him as some kind of like the younger Forrest Whitaker. He even has Forrest Whitaker's kind of voice. And he's like, "Oh, I'm a badass with a gun," but turns out he's passive. He's pacific. He's a pacifist. So, and I think that's a secret that Marcus is gonna, keep to himself, and that's the reason why they're gonna be best friends. And I think Marcus, because Marcus knows that Willie is a pacifist, not really a tough guy. I think we're gonna see Marcus bail Willie out time and time again whenever Willie, has to murder someone or whatnot. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah, don't worry, Willie, I'll do the job for you. Don't worry about it. So Willie doesn't have to stress about it. So, and then there's also this thing with the backstory about Master Lin and his wife and daughter got murdered in the past. So we're gonna in the pilot episode we already see set in stone, not set in stone. I guess you could say strategically placed some of the mysteries behind some of the characters, so you can follow, you can at least at the very least be curious to see, okay, how did they get killed? Is he gonna enact, or is he gonna exact revenge on the people who kill him, or like has he done it before? If he says that he's killed them, how did he kill them? So at least those are the thoughts that come into my mind when I watch this pilot episode. It's like, all right, and these characters are so likable. They're supposed to be kids of assassins, kids of bad guys, kids of mobsters, and they're supposed to be badass girls and boys, right? Like you don't want to see them the wrong way because they'll beat your ass. But at the same time, we're like, okay, there's got to be something under that rough exterior. There's got to be some redeeming qualities about them. I want to follow their journey and see what that is. And I think they set it up. They strategically placed that really really well in the pilot episode. It's funny how Marcus, last point. It's funny how Marcus blames Ronald Reagan for the death of his parents. I don't know if we're gonna see Ronald Reagan get, as at least Marcus tries to assassinate Ronald Reagan in this version of the '80s. But that will be also another interesting point. Another interesting thing to see whether or not that's gonna happen in Deadly Class. Um, definitely though, Deadly Class, the way they depict '80s, it's not sunshine, rainbows, lovey-dovey. You do not want to go. You do not want to go back to the '80s after seeing the '80s in Deadly Class. So yeah. Overall, this is a fantastic pilot episode. I can't wait. I haven't read the comic books, but I think it has enough to hook even those who are not fans of the comic books. And I'm glad Deadly Class arrives um, this month, January 16th, because I kind of miss doing a weekly live stream review. Now that Titan season 1 is over and we're waiting for Doom Patrol to arrive in February. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'm twiddling my thumb now in January. Nope. There's Deadly Class, motherfucker. So okay, I'm gonna do my weekly review of Deadly Class because Syfy doesn't drop their shows, the whole thing, 13 episodes for you to binge watch. So they do it weekly episodes, a weekly basis, just like any other regular network. So I'm gonna do Deadly Class weekly review starting January, I guess 16th or 23rd. Well, this pilot episode will air January 16th, so this review is for that. So get ready. I'll do a weekly review of Deadly Class, full of spoilers every time after they air on Syfy. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any thoughts about Deadly Class, if you have seen the pilot episode, what did you think about it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you feel like it's too familiar because of the Harry Potter, Hogwarts, X-Men thing going on there, or do you think it's because of that? Do you think it's not original, it's not fresh, or it's not unique, or do you think you can find some appeals about it despite the fact that it may look familiar? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, subscribe to my channel and ring the bell and press that like button. All right, and share this video with all your friends on the YouTube verse. And if you can help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. All right, I'm gonna go out now to Pasadena to celebrate that Rose Parade. Hopefully, I don't miss out most of it. Maybe I can get a glimpse of at least some of the displays. And that's it. Happy New Year, everybody. Stay safe. January 1st. Let's rock this.